Now I want to talk about architecture very quickly, and this is my tale of two cities. I like talking about this because people rely upon your architecture, your menu, and your navigation system in order to properly navigate your site. Search engines depend upon your navigation structure in order to build an understanding of what keywords you're using, and seeing that repetition and how you classify keywords from one section to another helps them understand more and more about how they can classify your site and how each of the terms relate to one another, and you can help boost your rankings by having a very favorable navigation structure. Let's talk about Breckenridge, Colorado. The first thing is their title. It's somewhat descriptive. Breckenridge, Colorado. Wonderful job there. I'm sure ounces of creativity went into there. Their URL structure starts out pretty well. This is their home page. So we're here. We can see what's going on. Here's their main navigation down around midway through the page, because obviously their call to action is to get you to start booking a vacation, but obviously you need to know what you can do there first. Now, this is okay as a home page, but once we get further into the structure, let's say we didn't enter at the home page. Let's say we entered at this page, which we have no idea what it's about because it's a repeated title tag. We look at the URL structure. We can get an idea from here that we're at the summer page. If we look at the main navigation, there's absolutely no clue where we're at because there's no notifying area here. Typically, when you're in a subpart of a website or when you're in a section of a website, the main navigation of where you're at should change color, have some sort of notification of where you are at. There's absolutely nothing like that here. But if we look at the navigation in the breadcrumbs, we can see that we can follow back to home, summer, and events. However, if you look at the content on the page, we are talking about snow sculpture championships taking place in January. This does not follow the breadcrumb structure, the navigation structure, or the URL structure of the page. These are all three elements that both users and search engines will look at in order to figure out where am I on this site, what content is on this page based on what I'm looking for. And if I want to find additional content, how do I get there? Everything about the navigational structure of this page says summer. The content says snow sculptures in January. How do I get where I want to go? This does not provide a consistent path of information for the search engine or the searcher. So if we go to another page, again, they've simply repeated the title. If we look here, we're now in summer activities. However, we don't know that from the main navigation. So we're not sure where we are at in this site. The breadcrumb is really the best thing that we have, but here it's presented in white on light gray. So I'm sure you can appreciate the color scheme here, because if you want to hide something from your user, just put it in real low contrast. They'll never see it. But then also we're starting to get some sub-navigation elements here that help us understand what we can do from there, but really it doesn't help you figure out where you are on the site as opposed to where you want to go. Now, very quickly, Rapid City, which is in South Dakota, I liked their menu structure because as soon as you're in here, here's the main navigation. You are in the visitors section. You know that because the main navigation has changed to let you know that you're there. We can see the subtopics here. We can also look at the breadcrumb navigation, which lets us know exactly where we're at. Once we go into some detail information, again, visitors is highlighted on the main navigation. We know that we're in that section. We know what subsection we're in. We also know where in that subsection, what page of content we're on, because we have a visual indicator of a nice white arrow pointing to outdoor recreation, which is supported in the breadcrumb navigation, and we can also see in the navigation of related pages within that category. We know exactly what page we're on. It's reinforced by the navigation, the sub-navigation, by the visual cues, and the content, and if we want to go to some related information, we know exactly where it's located, because now we know that we can rely on this navigation structure to get us there, and we also know that the search engines are taking into account the text that is in this navigation structure in order to build relevancy for each page on the site. So having a crawlable navigation that implements keywords and allows people to figure out where they are is great for users and search engines and helps them get where they're going, because you're building keyword themes, you're using solution-based keywords of getting people to the information that they need. But also what you want is a consistent and reliable navigation structure. Don't ever, 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 ever change your navigation midway through the site. Keep it the same throughout. Thank you very much for your time. I have more information on my blog here. Thank you for your attention.